Shelli, thank you for being with me here today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate being here.
Well, I'm so excited we're able to do this. Our whole goal was to create some content that will help all the trade contractors in the region, or basically anybody that can pull up a YouTube video in the future, right? Because it's a complicated situation. Like all insurance with your homeowners, your auto, I don't know how many people, when they get the declarations from their agent or their carrier, read through it. It's pretty mind-numbing. So I know that you're going to be able to share a lot of things in this series that's going to help people out.
Yes,
Appreciate that. Yeah. You and I have been in the building industry quite a while. And I know when we talked a while back, you actually grew up pounding nails, and you got a family history in that business. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I do. My parents and my grandparents on my mom's side were all builders. And so as a young child, I was literally growing up out on the job site and making the guys lunches and running stuff around and being the gopher. We actually cleared most of Woodinville ourselves because and cleared the wood and knocked them down.
Developers too.
Developers, yeah. My grandpa, Jack Morrison, was pretty much built Woodinville.
Wow.
So, and we burned all that wood in our house.
That had to be a lot of fun, though, right?
So I was used to the subs coming to our door for payment and then helping my mom with the books and all of that. So I grew up with the lingo, which has only helped me later in talking with the builders. I understand what they're saying. That's
really great. Well, at some point in your career, you transitioned into the insurance world. Do you want to maybe give us a little bit of that initial and kind of how it's progressed over the last couple decades?
It was by complete accident, honestly. I took a job, paid for a job as a file clerk at a risk management company for construction. And I didn't know what I was getting into, but I got into the file room. I filed everything really fast, and I started reading everything as I went. And then I was coming out and commenting on it. And they were like, oh, to shut me up, they gave me books and workbooks and things to do. So I was doing them. And they were like, oh, wow, you're smart. And so I just naturally progressed up. And then I went on to work for an insurance company. So I was went through the underwriting internship, and then was an underwriter. So I learned that facet of the business, and then I transferred over. Didn't really like that. Then I ended up in the agency side, which is a much better fit for me.
Okay. What does it look like when you're working, quote unquote, for somebody and then start your own? How does that?
Yeah.
Do you start fresh with like zero book of business? Or?
No, I built my book over years. I was an account manager, and then I started writing my own accounts. And I went into my boss and said, I'm only making my job harder by writing accounts that I have to handle that I'm not being paid for. Now I've created more work for myself. You need to pay me. So eventually he said, when you get to $100,000 in commission income, then we'll start paying you. So I tracked it, and then they started paying me, and then it sort of balanced out. Okay. And then I was recruited by, at the time, the largest national broker in the world. And yes, wow. It was Sedgwick James. And I went to work for them right before they did a merger. So that was bad news. But anyway, I went in there and worked in their construction division, which was very eye-opening because their method was you bring it in, churn it in, you sell, we take care of it. And it was basically you couldn't even talk to your clients unless there was a problem, then you got to be the fall guy. And I didn't like that scenario because I relationship work with my clients. I dig in and want to understand their business, and they just want to write policies. If you lose one, oh, well, you can replace it with another one. And I didn't like that business model. And then I went on to a smaller brokerage firm that literally only wrote contractors and bonding. And so I learned a lot there. And then I ended up opening my own firm after I decided I wanted to do it my own way.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you shared that. That's a nice lead in. You and I have both been involved with the Master Builders Association for years, and I know you've spoke regionally. You spoke, really all across the United States on these topics. I believe our team here came out and captured the audio of a meeting you did a few years ago. Right. And we've had a few other people talk about, liability and litigation and challenges and just how to keep trade contractors out of the weeds. And it's complicated.
It is.
Like everything in life, it seems to be getting a little bit more complicated, and everybody's trying to limit their liability. Right. So that boils down to the why we're here today. And I'm so thankful that you agreed to do this. I know it's been a lot of work. We put in a lot of time ahead of this. You've obviously got decades in this business. But we want to share things that will help in a complicated landscape. I've been talking back and forth with you for a few months, and I'm just kind of here enough to get through this today. But the things you'll share in the episodes we're going to create in this series is going to help a lot of people in the industry.
I sure hope so. Yeah.
So thank you. Looking forward to it.
Yep, me too.